Thursday. Good morning, everyone. This is JDB's Morning Cap. Today is March 16th, 2026. As March Madness is approaching. So, we should be excited. I am so looking forward to the 2026 NCAA tournament for both men's and women's. So we will discuss it all day today. So we're going to talk who's going to be in the March Madness. And we'll talk other stuff here today. So we'll see how this is going out here today. All right, let's start with a March Madness, as the 68 team of men's March Madness has been revealed. So let's start with the West region. Let's start with the East region first. Duke is number one seed in the tournament. So Duke will take on number 16 Siena on March 19th. And then on March 19th as well, it'll be number 9 Ohio State take on number 8 TCU. So that's gonna be their fingers crossed here. Then you got number 5 St. John's take on number 12 UNI. And then number 4 would be Kansas take on number 13 California Baptist. Actually, number 8 Ohio State takes on number 9 TCU. I made a mistake. And then you got number 6 Louisville take on number 11 South Florida. And then you got number 3 Michigan State take on number 14 North Dakota State University. And then you got number 7 UCLA take on number 10 UCF, stands for University of Central Florida. It'll be UConn, number 2, take on number 15 Furman. That's the East region. Here are the West region. Number 1 is Arizona Wildcats, take on LIU. Number 16 is LIU. Number 8 Villanova will take on number 9 Utah State University Aggies. You got number 5 Wisconsin take on number 12 High Point. You got number 4 Arkansas takes on number 13 Hawaii. You got number 6 BYU take on number 11 to be determined. We'll find out who that is. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Number 3 Gonzaga take on number 14 Kennesaw State. And on March 20th, it'll be number 7 Miami Hurricanes will take on number 10 Missouri. You got number 2 Purdue take on number 15 Queens. The Midwest region, number 1 Michigan takes on number 16 to be determined. Number 8 Georgia takes on number 9 St. Louis. And then you got number 5 Texas Tech take on number 12 Akron. You got number 4 Alabama take on number 13 Hofstra. You got number 6 Tennessee take on number 11 to be determined. Number 3 Virginia take on number 14 Wright State University. Number 7 Kentucky Wildcats will take on number 10 UC Santa Clara. That's Jalen Williams' school and Steve Nash. Number 2, Iowa State University will take on number 15, Tennessee State University. And then finally, the South region. Number 1, Florida will take on the number 16 to be determined. Number 8, Clemson take on number 9, Iowa. And then we got number 5, Vanderbilt take on number 12, McNeese. Number 4, Nebraska take on number 13, Troy. Number 6, North Carolina Tar Heels will take on number 11, VCU. It stands for Virginia Commonwealth University. You got number 3, Illinois, take on number 14, Penn. And you got number 7, St. Mary's will take on number 10, Texas A&M. And finally, number 2, Houston takes on number 15, Idaho. That's the South region. So who's in the first 4? On March 17th, the West region has number 11, Texas versus number 11, North Carolina State. And the winner will face the 6th seed, BYU, in the West region on Thursday. For the Midwest region, first 4, number 16, UMBC will take on number 16, Howard. The winner of that game will face the number 1 seed of the Midwest region, Michigan, on March 18th as well. That's the 2 games on March 17th, first 4. On March 18th, men's first 4, it'll be number 11 seed Miami, Ohio, take on number 11 seed SMU. Stands for Southern Methodist University. That's in Dallas, Texas. The winner of that game will face the 6th seed Tennessee in the Midwest region. And then the South region, first 4, number 16 Prairie View and A&M will take on number 16 Lehigh. And the winner of that game will face the best number 1 seed in the South region, Florida, and defending national champions, Florida Gators, on March 20th. So, who was the last 4 in? For the March Madness. So who was the last 4 in? So it's NC State, Texas, SMU, and Miami, Ohio. They were the last 4 in. So who missed the cut? Who missed the cut of March Madness? Who should have been in? San Diego State missed out. Oklahoma missed out. Indiana missed out. Auburn also missed out. And I want to throw out Seton Hall. So who was the biggest snub in the men's March Madness? To me, I gotta say San Diego State, and well, Auburn is understandable, but I gotta go with someone's right. It has to be Auburn. So if Auburn cancel all these losses, and if it wasn't for Texas or NC State and SMU, Miami, Ohio is understandable too, because Miami, Ohio had a magical season. But the teams I concurrently disagree with, for one other team, they shouldn't put NC State in the tournament. They shouldn't put NC State in the tournament because look at this. Because Auburn has a slightly win percentage against quad 1 games, but the quad 4 games, Auburn had a big loss against quad 4 opponents. That left them out of the tournament. The other biggest snub is San Diego State. Look at the San Diego State notable losses to miss a tournament. So they lost to Utah State in the Mountain West Championship game. They had a quad 1 loss against New Mexico on February 28th. They had a tough loss at home against Grand Canyon on December 9th. And then they lost to Boise State on March 4th, 2026. And they lost to Colorado State on February 24th, 2026. The reason, so even though San Diego State went 22-11 in a season, on the season, San Diego State finished 3-8 in quad one games. That's how San Diego State missed the cut. They just cannot win big time games. They had to deal with some close losses after close losses after close losses. They're just inability. San Diego State just inability to close it out, despite the talent. They just don't have. They unable to find ways to win. Is due to late season collapse, and that's what happens. What transpires for San Diego State to miss the tournament, and then I'm going to throw out Seton Hall. Seton Hall finished a pretty good season, but the reason why they're out, Seton Hall went 21-12 overall, 10-10 in the Big East. They did pull off their first 20-win season in their school history, but unfortunately, Seton Hall did not make the tournament because they went 1-6 against quad one opponents. They're just unable to pull off top tier wins. They lost to UConn twice, St. John's twice, UCLA. They lost to St. John's in the semifinals. They should have, if Seton Hall would have won those next couple of games, they would have. And thanks to and also a controversial buzzer beater against UCLA on, I don't know what day it was, but they won. Yes, Seton Hall has won 21 games. That was the first in their history of the school, but they just could not come. They just didn't pull off the NCAA tournament bid because they went 1-6 in quad one opponent record. I mean, if they win like 2, 4, 5, 7 games, they would have been in. We talk about the resume, successful resumes could not get yourself into the tournament. I mean, if you don't win quad one games, that could prove you costly, and it did. So make no mistake about it. Several teams who always missing the cut could really put themselves in a really tough position to get in to the NCAA tournament. Let's talk about Auburn. How Auburn missed the NCAA tournament. Auburn finished the season 17-16. However, they went 7-11 in the SEC. And they finished 9 losses in its final 12 games. However, and they played 17 games against quad one games. That's the most by any first 4 out teams in the quad one games. They went 4-13 in those games in quad ones. Look at the losses. They had a bad loss against Ole Miss on the road. They had a bad loss against Mississippi State. They had a bad loss against Oklahoma. Oklahoma should have been in the tournament. They lost to Tennessee in the SEC tournament. Losing to Ole Miss, it was a quad 3 game. So, what was their inconsistency? It's their offense. They're shooting. Auburn shot roughly 39% from the field the entire season, which is the second worst in the SEC. And Mississippi State has shot lower shot percentage than anybody in college basketball. And that's an issue. And by the way, Auburn is last in the SEC in 3-point percentage. They shot less than 30% from downtown. That's how Auburn missing the tournament, and they're bottom 5 in the conference in offensive efficiency. They're bottom 5 in points scored. I mean, we know they're losing some guys to the draft or someone from the transfer portal. So you're going to go through some big lumps. I mean, this is what happened when your resume is so much difficult. This is a difficult resume for Auburn. You got to face top tier SEC opponents like Tennessee, Texas, Alabama, Florida. Who else is a top tier? Arkansas. That's Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is a quality team. They made the tournament. Vanderbilt has more wins than Auburn. Vanderbilt has an impressive resume than Auburn. Because Vanderbilt has big wins. Vanderbilt has 2 wins against Tennessee. And they beat Kentucky as well. That was important. That was important as well. So those are the key wins for Vanderbilt to get into the tournament. Vanderbilt has more quad 1 wins than Auburn. And Vanderbilt got themselves into the tournament. And they got themselves in the SEC championship game yesterday. But it was victorious by Arkansas. But the resume in the SEC is critical. It is so critical to get into the NCAA tournament. We've seen teams getting left out into the NCAA tournament. All right, so let's move on from this. Who are the biggest? So which regions who will pull off the biggest upset of its tournament? So if I would get to pick, this is an interesting one. How about this? My biggest upset that would have been not been expected. Who could make it this deep run? I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with 2 upsets here. Number 12, High Point, and number 10, UC Santa Clara. I'm gonna start with UC Santa Clara first. From the South region. Actually, from the Midwest region, I'm sorry. I think UC Santa Clara has a chance to beat Kentucky because with their blueprint of success, they're a great shooting team. They're a great offensive team. Kentucky's defense has some problematic issues, but Kentucky has struggled to get off to a fast start. So if UC Santa Clara gets off to a fast start, they can drive themselves up and down the court. They can knock down threes too. UC Santa Clara is a very good 3-point shooting team. And Kentucky, at times, are not a good 3-point shooting team. So the advantage goes to UC Santa Clara if they want to pull off this upset in the first round NCAA tournament. And my other upset that I mentioned is High Point, number 12. I think High Point can pull off this upset at any time. They're going to take on number 5, Wisconsin. I think High Point's defense is going to be the control of emphasis. Can High Point defense step up in the big moments, even when the game is close? If the game is close, if High Point comes through, we've seen certain teams, they pull off the upset several times. So we've seen so many teams that could be in. So it would have been better that if High Point could pull off this upset in this one. So we've seen several teams could be on upset alert in the NCAA tournament. So that would be the key in this one here. All right, let's take a look at the first four matchup for the men's. On March 17th, it will be the West Region matchup. It will be number 11 Texas take on number 11 NC State, and the winner will face the 6th seed BYU in the West Region. So, who do I like tomorrow? Texas or NC State? I'm gonna go Texas. I think Texas will win it in a convincing fashion. I mean, Texas defense is going to be strong. I think the offense will finally break out. And Texas has struggled offensively for most of the year, but I think Texas, they got a very good defense. Texas is not a good three-point shooting team, so I think they'll try to knock down threes in the tournament in this one here. And then later on that day, it'll be UMBC take on Howard, 16th versus 16th matchup in the Midwest region. Howard, the HBCU team. UMBC. It stands for University of Maryland. County. It's in Baltimore. So they'll take on Howard. So Howard, do you know what's ironic though? UMBC is from Baltimore, Maryland. Howard University is from Washington, D.C. So these two have played in the same state. So it would have considered a rivalry game, but in Major League Baseball, it's the Baltimore Orioles and the Washington Nationals. In the NFL, Washington Commanders and the Baltimore Ravens. There's two different teams. UMBC versus Howard. That's going to be a decent matchup. If I would get the pick, I'm going to pick Howard to win, and the winner will face number 1 Michigan on Thursday. So that will be that. All right, so first four Midwest region continues on March 8th. First four continues on March 18th. Midwest region has number 11 seed Miami, Ohio, taking number 11 SMU. Let's talk Miami, Ohio first. What a magical season for Miami, Ohio. They began the season 31-0 before they suffered their heartbreaking loss in the MAC tournament to the UMass in the MAC quarterfinal to end the season 31-31. But Miami, Ohio is in part of the last four into the tournament. Despite Miami, Ohio has not played a quad one game all season long. And they're facing 11 seed SMU. But Miami, Ohio, their offense has been great. Their defense has been great all year long. Miami finished the most points by any season in, not just in school history, the most points in the conference history. That's incredible for Miami, Ohio to make. And hopefully, if Miami, Ohio wins, they get the deep March Madness run. They can get themselves to the Final Four. And that was the key to this. For SMU, magical season as well. But if I get the pick, I'm going to pick Miami, Ohio. I think Miami, Ohio will get it done. I think it's going to be a shootout in the first four in the Midwest region. And in the South region, first four, it'll be Prairie View A&M takes on number 16 Lehigh. The winner will face Florida in the first round. For Miami, Ohio, SMU, the winner will face Tennessee for the Midwest region. For Lehigh and Prairie View, for the South region, the winner will face Florida in the first round. So who I'm picking, Prairie View A&M or Lehigh? To me, I'm going to go with Prairie View A&M. I mean, another HBCU school. So I think Prairie View A&M gets it done in the NCAA tournament, first four, and they'll face Florida on March 20th. All right, so enough of the men's NCAA tournament. What's coming up next? Did Austin Reeves save the day for the Lakers against the Nuggets 2 days ago? Also, what is going on in Pittsburgh as far as quarterback position? Also coming up, we'll talk WWE as it develops, because WrestleMania 42 is around a month away. So we've got to keep our fingers crossed. We will step away in 3 minutes. We'll be right back.
Down 2. 5 seconds left. Reeves knows exactly what he needs. He intentionally fires the free throw hard off the back iron to guarantee a long bounce. Notice how he reads the deflection perfectly. Beats the defense to the...
Reeves hits it off, gets it back. Reeves on the drive, he puts it up. It's good! It's good! Ties the game! They're going to hold it for the final shot and try and win it here in overtime. Reeves to Doncic. Spencer Jones on him. Here's the double. Doncic on the drive. Step back. Puts it up. Puts it in! With 5/10 of a second remaining!
All right, so the Lakers get it done in overtime last Saturday against the Denver Nuggets, as the Lakers beat the Nuggets last Saturday in overtime. The final score was the Lakers 127, Nuggets 125. Austin Reeves with a game-tying layup after he intentionally missed the second free throw in the final seconds in the fourth quarter, and then Luka Doncic with a game-winning shot with 0.5 to go in overtime. Luka Doncic, by the way, he finished 30 points, 13 assists, 11 boards. Meanwhile, Austin Reeves with 32 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, as the Lakers improved to 42-25, which means the Lakers will play the Rockets twice between today and Wednesday. So, how Austin Reeves pull off the smartest play of his life? First of all, after he made the first to make this to cut the Nuggets lead down to 2. And then Austin Reeves missed the second free throw intentionally on the line drive. That allowed Reeves to grab his own offensive rebound, and then he gets a couple of steps forward towards to the basket to try to tie this game, and he connected it to tie it, and that ended up sitting in overtime. So that was the smartest play that Austin Reeves as he's ever seen in my life, technically. Luka Doncic eventually hits a game-winning 2-point shot with 0.5 seconds left to play in overtime and end up beating the Nuggets 127-125. And the Lakers take the season series from the Nuggets 2-1. That was important. That was an important one, because the tiebreaker could advantage to the Lakers, because if Denver actually wins out and surpassing the Lakers a better record, then it would have been different. So if Lakers and Nuggets finish the same record, the tiebreaker goes to the Lakers based on the head-to-head season series. in favor of the Lakers. So that's been a difference so far. The Western Conference has been chaotic. As for the Denver Nuggets, the Lakers were up as many as 17 points. Nuggets were up as many as 8. It's a heartbreaking loss for the Denver Nuggets. They would have. And this is what happened. This is what just happened for the Nuggets. Now they're tied for the number 5 seed with the Timberwolves. Nuggets still have a tiebreaker with Timberwolves based on head-to-head. They took 3 out of 4 from Minnesota. Minnesota lost to the Thunder yesterday. So which team will be in danger? Which team I don't trust the Western Conference the most? Minnesota or Denver? I don't trust Minnesota because it feels like Minnesota is probably the worst 41 and 27 team in the NBA, pretty much. They could easily be in the play-in tournament. Wolves snuck out the top 6 in the West last season. And they got to the conference finals for the second year in a row. And what happened? They lost in 5 games to the Thunder. The Timberwolves have struggled in the conference finals over the last couple of years. Timberwolves are 2-8 in their last 10 conference finals games. Timberwolves should not rank higher in the Western Conference. They shouldn't. If they did, they would have exposed their way anyways. That's a tough situation to make. That is a really tough situation. And because of that, you want nobody to see it happen in the Western Conference. And then for Denver should be okay. So Denver will face Houston in the first round. And that's going to be a critical series because Denver has their Houston's number. Denver has their Houston's number. So they have to face the Thunder in the second round in the Western Conference playoffs. Like I said, Western Conference is no joke. When that happened, somebody had to take care of your schedule. That is necessary. And this is a must for them right now. Look at the Phoenix Suns. They can catch these teams up. The Suns will play the Celtics tonight in Boston, and that's a crucial game for Phoenix. They try to sneak the top 6 in the West. I mean, and you got Clippers number 8, the worst, blew a 21-point lead to the Knicks, ended up losing to the Knicks by 3 points in New York. I mean, I tell you what. And then you got Portland hanging on by a thread. So if Portland can somehow win most of their games, they can sneak. They can easily get into the play-in tournament because of that. If that's going to be the case. So I think the Western Conference continues to be chaotic. It's going to be chaotic for the next almost a month stretch. Less than a month stretch. About 3-week stretch. We got like 4 more weeks left of the season. So we got like less than 4 weeks left of the season. So who's going to have the power to be the number 3 seed in the Western Conference by going forward by the end of the year. There's a lot of Western Conference 3 seed committee. So it's wide. Number 3 seed is wide damn open. It's wide damn open. That's what's that. All right, we're moving forward. Coming up, we'll talk what's going on in Pittsburgh as far as quarterback positions. Right now, Steelers don't. We'll talk all. We'll get all the details next. Also coming up, we'll talk WrestleMania 42 and what happened to Randy Orton last Friday. So we'll talk all this right after the break. Welcome back here on JDB's Morning Cap. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers QB depth chart in 2026 as of right now. Right now is Mason Rudolph and Will Howard. For the quarterback depth chart in 2026. And for Aaron Rodgers, also Aaron Rodgers, whether or not he's going to come back to Pittsburgh next season, so they'll have to make a decision by the end of this month at the very least. So the question is, what's going on in Pittsburgh, the quarterback position for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Right now, the quarterback position is continuing their lack thereof. I mean, there's potential pursuits like Aaron Rodgers, he could come back, could be Mac Jones, Mac Jones, and then you got Anthony Richardson. You got several quarterbacks who's going to play for the Steelers, or you can choose a person into the draft. So the Pittsburgh Steelers don't have a quarterback. That's a tough way to say this. You don't have. Somebody has to add a depth chart for the Cowboys quarterback position. You cannot respect when giving out his due. It's not going to be easy the way it turns out. And as for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's really gonna hurt if they don't get to this. When we look for this one, the AFC North divisional quarterbacks. You got Joe Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals, Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens, Shedeur Sanders of the Cleveland Browns, and then you got for the Steelers, they don't have it right now. As of right now, it's Dylan Gabriel and Will Howard. Aaron Rodgers, future is unknown right now. And that's the situation you just don't want to hurt it at. You could have some real big problems at the end of its process. And that's that. that's that. This is a situation you do want to make for Pittsburgh. And that's a big deal because they can get back on top easily, and then you can put yourself in a really, really good prime position to make everything else happen. And that's that. But you're in the squad that you're always going to be asking for it. And you could retain your difference. You can always retain your difference. The Pittsburgh Steelers need a quarterback, either from the draft or someone from free agency. They need help. The Steelers do need help in that situation. And that was about it. We've been talking about this all off season long. Maybe it would have happened. That would have happened. Because of that, this is a situation this is going to help its own cause. Maybe it would. It would help the situation quite a bit. But those are potential game changers. And because of that, this is what always transpired throughout the years. But if that's the case, then there's not a lot you can really worry about. But it would have been that, because if it's a difference right now, then we would have beat it. Then you talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, someone else has to step up. We know Mike McCarthy is the new head coach. We know Mike McCarthy is the new Steelers head coach. We see the quarterbacks is so crucial because of that. If that's the case, then the Steelers offense could go through the same issues. They can go through the same issues. And we just been talking about all that. We've been talking about Michael Pittman Jr. with the Steelers, and now something you really want to wait for. And Pittsburgh Steelers just need its own help. They need something to go their way. Steelers won division just one other time since 2020. So, only the second division winner since 2017 season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, if Steelers want to be kings of the North again, they need a quarterback. Who could be productive, who could be a better game manager, and not turn the football over. That is going to be crucial for the Pittsburgh Steelers. By going forward. So that would be that. So let's see how much they can move forward to this. And maybe I don't think Pittsburgh Steelers will win division if they don't get a quarterback. Even if they get a quarterback, the Steelers are still not going to win this division. So we'll find out if, I don't care who walks out winning the AFC North. Well, they just want results at the end of the process. This is what this difference is all about. All right, so coming up next on JDB's Morning Cap, we'll preview WrestleMania 42. So many matches were made. I'll talk these two major main events at the same WrestleMania 42. So we'll talk about it. And also what happened to Randy Orton. So we'll talk Cody Rhodes' history of surrendering heel turns. We'll find out in about three minutes. We'll be right back. Welcome back to JDB's Morning Cap. All right, last Friday on SmackDown, Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, the WWE Champion, were in the contract signing last Friday, and then Orton and Rhodes hugged it out, and then just around a second later, Randy Orton attacks Cody Rhodes, and then hits a chair shot, and then hits through the table, and that gives Cody Rhodes end up being bleeding. So Randy Orton officially turning heel in the process this past Friday. So Randy Orton is looking to win his 15th World Championship. Randy Orton is a 14-time World Champion. Ric Flair is 16-time World Champion. John Cena is a 17-time World Champion. Remember, last year, Cody Rhodes John Cena turned heel on Cody Rhodes in last year's Elimination Chamber when Travis Scott and The Rock were in the ring at the same time. So speaking of Cody Rhodes surrendering, turning heel history, last year, 2024, The Rock turned heel on Cody Rhodes. Then Brock Lesnar turned heel on Cody Rhodes in 2023. So Cody Rhodes has history of surrendering of heel turns. Let me look at this. Actually, the last 3 years, 2024 was The Rock turning heel on Cody Rhodes during the WrestleMania 40 press conference, and then John Cena turning heel on Cody Rhodes at 2025 Elimination Chamber, and then 3 days ago, Randy Orton turned heel on Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. Randy Orton will challenge Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania 42. We don't know the main events of parts of days. It could be night 1 or night 2, because WrestleMania will have 2 days, where WrestleMania gets 2 nights. It's been that way since 2020, when the pandemic started it. This is the 5th year in person with fans in stands. So Cody Rhodes will defend his undisputed WWE Championship against Randy Orton, that who won the Elimination Chamber last month in Chicago, Illinois. So right now, Randy Orton is a 14-time world champion. Randy Orton, by the way, go back to 2009. Cody Rhodes he was a legacy alum. Cody Rhodes, there was the legacy era. The legacy era began in 2008 through 2010. So the legacy era group was the leader Randy Orton, the few members Cody Rhodes, and Ted DiBiase Jr. They were the members of the legacy era. It began in 2008, ended in 2010. So that was the legacy era. So where are they at right now? Ted DiBiase Jr. doesn't work with the WWE anymore. Cody Rhodes is a WWE champion. Randy Orton is the longest active roster in the WWE. So you cannot have any damages. I think these two superstars will get erupted at WrestleMania 42 on either April 18th or 19th. So we'll find out which days they're going to have a match taking place. So they haven't necessarily scheduled a match. Which days are the schedule of the match? Just yet. They did schedule themselves at WrestleMania. They don't know the days, which day they're going to slot in. Either night 1 or night 2. So we'll have to find out what is transpiring about this. So let's see if Cody Rhodes can keep his championship and not invoke Randy Orton's rematch situation. So we'll see. We'll see if the feud will loom large at this point. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Will the feud? Is this the biggest, longest feud all year long? It could be. We'll have to find out what's gonna happen in this one. All right, so we're gonna move on to that. We'll stick with WWE. Roman Reigns will return to Monday Night Raw tonight. Try to confront CM Punk. CM Punk is the World Heavyweight Champion. CM Punk will defend his World Heavyweight Champion against the Royal Rumble winner of 2026, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is a 3-time Royal Rumble winner. Roman Reigns he's a 6-time world champion. He's a 4-time WWE champion. He's a 2-time Universal champion. He's also recorded 1,316 days in those championships, in those world championships. That's the longest by any wrestler in the history of the WWE. He's a former United States champion, former Intercontinental champion, and former tag team champion. So he has every accolades for Roman Reigns. So he's one of the 2 active rosters were on the Shield. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins were they were the 2 members who are in the WWE in the roster. Both Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns on Raw. But the guy who's not the member, was not here in the WWE, is Jon Moxley, as known as Dean Ambrose. Moxley is at AEW right now. He's done a hell of a job at AEW, by the way. So that be that. So CM Punk has so many critical rivalries in his career. CM Punk has faced Backlash against John Cena. He's backlashed against Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. He's faced Chris Jericho. He's faced The Undertaker multiple times. He faced Randy Orton. He's faced Brock Lesnar, Triple H. Several legend superstars who faced their prime wrestlers in their careers. And now he's facing Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 42. I mean, this is incredible. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 42. It doesn't get any bigger than this. This could be the biggest match you will ever see. Talk about Roman Reigns, CM Punk. So many iconic wrestlers. So many moments, so many rivalries, so many memories. So many tense moments. We know Seth Rollins has dealt a lot of tense accusations against CM Punk over the years, the last couple of years. Three guys were either former world champions or currently world champions. I mean, these men deserves everything. If you count how many championships you won, and that's a golden opportunity. Who has faced them a lot. So it's not gonna break your heart. It's just because you want someone to step yourself up, and that's the key. This is a big opportunity to win every step of the way. Oh, by the way, Brock Lesnar returns tonight. We'll see who gets the challenge at WrestleMania. So, Roman Reigns is clearly a Grand Slam champion. He's a former tag team champion. He was with Seth Rollins. Former United States champion, former Intercontinental champion. So it's been a hell of a run for Roman Reigns. Actually, Roman Reigns is a two-time Royal Rumble winner. His first Royal Rumble win was 2015. He headlined WrestleMania 31 in Santa Clara. Because last time Roman Reigns headlined for WrestleMania, he faced the WWE champion Brock Lesnar. However, the 2014 Money in the Bank winner Seth Rollins cashed in the Money in the Bank for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It was originally a one-on-one match, but it turned into a triple threat match. And Seth Rollins beat Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That Rollins cashed in the 2014 Money in the Bank. It took place in 2015 WrestleMania 31 in Santa Clara, California. When Santa Clara hosts two Super Bowls in 2016 and then this year. So there's a bit of a history of the major events in sports. So for his first World winner was 2015 for Roman Reigns. He last eliminated Rusev. This year in Saudi Arabia, His second Royal Rumble winner, he entered at 26, and he last eliminated Gunther. So there you go. So Roman Reigns is a two-time Royal Rumble winner to headline WrestleMania. In about roughly 43% of their Royal Rumble wins end up win the world title. So there's only a few members in the history of WWE who's won a Royal Rumble and end up winning the World Championship at WrestleMania. It's not a lot of things you can do about it, and that would be that. That proved to be the difference so far. So that's the WrestleMania numbers you're going to have to make. So if this is a huge difference so far, and they'll make it happen. All right, let's wrap it up. What's coming up in tomorrow's JDB's Morning Cap tomorrow? We will preview the first four for day one of the March Madness, and then we'll talk some NBA. We'll talk all basketball tomorrow. So tonight's matchups that I'm going to recap it for tomorrow. We have Lakers Rockets tonight. Spurs and the Clippers. That's going to be a fun matchup. So I'll recap those games for that. So as March Madness approaches, we were going to say we're talking about every March Madness one shining moment, and 68 team tournament has been in right now. I will talk women's NCAA tournament as well. Women's First Four doesn't start till March 18th, so we'll talk about all that tomorrow as well as it develops. So what I talked about today, I'll talk about the 68 teams are in the tournament and several teams who left out in the NCAA tournament. We'll talk about Lakers. Reeves ties it to 7 overtime, and then Luka delivers a game winner in overtime against the Nuggets in Los Angeles 2 days ago in a thriller. We talk about Pittsburgh is still lacking in the quarterback position, and we'll talk WrestleMania 42. That's going to do it. This is JDB's Morning Cap. We'll be back at it tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow morning.